She spun in his arms as though I no longer existed, swallowed by the shadows of the glittering ballroom. The chandelier bathed the floor in golden light. Laughter rang too brightly, too deliberately, betraying what they thought was hidden. I stood there, unseen, like a phantom among the guests, watching my wife move in rhythm with the man she once swore held no place in her heart. Our daughter clapped softly, her young face lit with admiration, believing she was witnessing her mother's victory, a moment of freedom. She couldn't see the truth behind it all. I had made my boundary unmistakably clear. If she danced with him, I would be gone. She thought my words hollow. Now I was no longer there, and they were left to face the ruin of their choices. For 2 decades, I poured everything into Alina, my patience, my forgiveness, my pride. Together we built a life, brick by brick, a daughter, a home, mornings filled with sunlight and coffee, evenings wrapped in laughter, wounds that healed because we worked to heal them. But then Nate reappeared. The boy from her past, too cunning, too present, circling our life like a hawk. I saw her change when his name was spoken, the hesitation, the silence heavy with truths she refused to say. I knew long before she did that she was drifting toward him. Mara, only 17, believed she was championing her mother's joy. Too young to understand that betrayal isn't always about passion, but about shattering trust. She urged Alina on, convinced she was doing something brave. She didn't see the cost. When I gave Alina my final words, it wasn't in anger. It was in quiet certainty. If you dance with him, I will leave, not because I wanted to punish her, but because I refused to forget my worth. She looked at me as if I were the unreasonable one. But I knew. I always knew. That night, Mara zipped her mother into a crimson gown, whispering encouragement. "Take your happiness, Mom." I overheard it, and a deep calm settled in me. So when I watched them gliding under the golden lights, my heart did not shatter. It sharpened. Betrayal this deep doesn't ignite rage. It strips away illusions and leaves only clarity. The next morning, I went about life as usual, cooked breakfast, kissed Alina's forehead, drove Mara to school. Routine hid the storm inside me. Quietly, I moved everything into place. Finances shifted into accounts she didn't know existed. Investments secured for Mara's future, but only if she one day proved her loyalty. The house deed rewritten. Evidence gathered and locked away. Emails, receipts, recordings, footage. For a week, I smiled brighter than ever, hiding my preparations. Then came the evening of my carefully arranged farewell. A party disguised as my retirement celebration. Alina wore the red dress again. Nate arrived, late as always, smug and certain of himself. I raised my glass and spoke of my wife and daughter, honoring their support. Faces glowed. Then the lights dimmed and the screen lit up. At first, it was warmth, wedding vows, a child's first steps, moments of laughter. Then came the truth. Recordings, hotel footage, Alina's own words, Mara's whispered encouragement. Finally, the image of her spinning in Nate's arms, radiant, unashamed. The room froze. Alina's face drained of color. Mara's expression cracked. I placed an envelope on the table. Divorce papers already signed, a property deed transferring the house to someone she despised, and a note to Mara reminding her that loyalty matters as much as love. Then I walked out. No shouting, no second glance. Only the cold night air against my face. Calls came after, heavy with tears and regret. Alina begged to meet. Mara tried to explain, claiming she thought she was fighting for freedom, not betrayal. But betrayal doesn't always roar. It whispers, it nods, it encourages the wound to deepen. Weeks later, Nate disappeared, leaving Alina behind. The house was gone, the accounts closed. She moved into a cramped apartment. Mara drifted between friends' homes, her voice breaking when she called me once. I listened, then told her calmly, "You danced too. You just didn't see the cost." And I ended the call. Closure didn't come in the form of signatures or settlements. It came in the silence they were left with, in the reflection staring back at them each morning. I had loved them more than I thought possible. But in the end, I chose to love myself more. The night she chose to dance was the night I chose to let go, and the last night she ever felt joy without paying its price.